Hey everyone, so this is a recap of the entirety of Elementary Season 6. Just to give a little background info, from the finale of Season 5, Sherlock goes in to get an MRI of his head because he starts losing chunks of his time and he hallucinates. Um, Most notably, he hallucinates someone who he believes looks like his mother, who set fire to his house or his brownstone. And then um, in the season 6 premiere episode, he discovers he has post concussion syndrome from what Shinwell had done to him like month and a half before um, his getting an MRI. So, in the season 6 premiere, he is told to take it easy and don't do any strenuous activity, don't go into any places that might trigger his symptoms to this disease, so that his brain can rest and heal. Um, but he doesn't take that advice because in this episode, he takes on the case of a woman who uh, had sex with a man. I don't remember if it was like her ex or on and off type of guy or what. I don't remember. But she and this guy had created a sex tape, and it was released, and so she would have gotten um, cut out of the family fortune um, if that mixed sex tape. I don't know why I'm trying to call it a mixtape. I don't know why. But so if that sex tape gets leaked out, she will get cut out of the family money. And then I think I remember that even if she's cut out, she gets like $6 million or something like that, or it was a higher amount than what she would have gotten if she was left in the family money. Um, anyway, during this case, Charlotte goes to a construction site that the woman's brother works at, and there's all this construction going on, and it causes a ringing in his ears, and so he leaves mid-interview. Um, but he doesn't take the advice of the doctor right away, and he starts going back to meetings. I think because I think he stopped, or he goes. He was going periodically instead of like every day or anything. And in the one of those meetings, he meets a guy named Michael Rowan. Um, and this Michael guy ends up being a recurring character throughout the entire season. So, um, moving on from episode 1 of season 6, you see Sherlock struggling to wanting to work, which is what he loves to do, and it keeps his mind off of things. And taking it easy, like his doctor said, and not doing any, anything that might exacerbate his symptoms of his post concussion syndrome. And so, for at least, let me see, um, for the first 7 episodes, um, this Michael Rowan guy, he um, is a serial killer. We find this out at the end of episode 1, and basically Michael is trying to get Sherlock to see that he's a serial killer, and according to Michael, killing women keeps him from relapsing into drugs, taking drugs again. And so he was trying to do this like cat and mouse type of game, trying to make Sherlock realize that there's a serial killer going on, aka Michael. And um, so um, eventually Michael, reveals himself to Sherlock, and um, but not before. Or does he? I think he. No, it's after. No, it's not. It was. It is not before. Like it's not before. Uh, Captain Gregson's daughter. She has a roommate, and who I think I at least I remember it being this way. Who's more than just friends with Gregson's daughter. It's I think they were supposed to be like secret lovers, or like she had a crush on Polly, which is her roommate, and um, it's not until Polly dies that Sherlock realizes Michael is um, the serial killer. So at the end of episode 7, Sherlock goes on a 3-month vacation in Vermont, um, which to which his post concussion syndrome has gone away, basically. And then once he comes back, Michael comes back, and then um, so basically from episode 8 on, um, Sherlock and Joan try to figure out a way to capture Michael, um, but that is not the case because um, in the in the last 2 episodes, episode 20 and 21, Michael comes back, hurts he hurts Joan, and then upon stabbing Michael in the left shoulder with a piece of shattered glass, um, he runs away after she cuts him with the glass, and then hours later he ends up um, being found dead, and I think it was a garbage disposal, or what the hell is it called? Garbage dump, I think. Basically, where all the garbage goes once the garbage trucks pick it up. I just don't remember what the fuck it's called. Anyway, so it looks like at in those 2 episodes that Joan is the one that killed Michael, but it actually was Gregson's daughter who killed him, trying to avenge Polly's death. So instead of Polly going to jail, um, Gregson made I don't remember if it was like intentionally or not, making Joan look like she was the one who killed him when it was actually his daughter, and he was just trying to protect her. And so Sherlock ends up confessing to killing Michael because he knows Joan didn't do it. And what ends up happening is he ends up being deported back to London or England. He just happens to live in London um, at the end of the episode. And so basically, Joan follows him to um, Joan follows him to London, and she has now dyed her hair. Looks kind of orange to me. Like it's supposed to, I think it looked like supposed to, I think she was going for blonde, but it looks kind of orange to me. But anyway, that's besides the point. So basically, they're both in London um, at the end of the season. Um, and there's no real cliffhanger, it's just they're in London, you know, doing what they usually do is solving cases, or what looks to be like cases. So, I mean, if I didn't know that they were being picked up for a final seventh season, I would have been fine with that ending, to be honest. It would have been bittersweet, but I would have been fine with that. Um, Personally, I think season six was good. They had an overarching theme with Michael being on the loose as a serial killer, um, and they nipped Sherlock's post concussion syndrome in the bud pretty quickly. It didn't drag out, and I didn't feel like the whole Michael storyline was drug out either. Unlike in Bones, where Plot was a forever fucking villain, and he didn't need to be a forever villain. He didn't need to be a supervillain. There was no need for Plot to be a supervillain. So, anyway, a little rant there. But I feel like they did a good job with keeping Michael as a villain, but not a supervillain where he's not captured, put in jail, or killed. So I think they did well with that. Um, and um, if they had just ended out at the end of season six, I would have been fine with that too. I wouldn't have been mad because they wrapped up they wrapped up the storylines well and in a timely manner. So they didn't like end on Joan unknowing if Joan was like it didn't end on Sherlock and Joan being separated, with Joan still living in New York and Sherlock now living in London. So I'm glad they didn't, keep that separate and keep us wondering about whether or not they still kept contact or anything. Um, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what they do in season seven. See if they have like an overarching theme with that too, even though it's only 13 episodes. Um, and it's set to premiere on May 23rd, which is next Thursday. So um, they went from having it on Sundays to putting it back on Thursdays. So I will at least start recapping Elementary again. Um, Sorry for my phone notification. But I will start recapping Elementary um, again on May 23rd, which is only 5 days away. So, until then, I will see you guys later.